Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It makes me mighty happy that you've all done me the favor to show up here in Shell Chateau tonight for what we call in this business an opening. Anytime a new man takes a place over like Shell Chateau, it's called an opening, even though the place has been running for years. Every available inch of space in Shell Chateau is occupied tonight, and over 40 of the people here are actually appearing on tonight's show. Such famous people as Mary Ellis. Spotlight for Miss Ellis. Over there. And Charles Butterworth and Marjorie Gateson. Spotlight on Mr. Butterworth. Miss Gateson, please. There's Willie Hunter's table over there. Willie's going to tell me what's wrong with my golf game. And there's Buster Keaton. Let the folks see you, Buster. That long table over there is occupied by the Hollywood Male Chorus, and that's not all. Jack Stanton and Peggy Gardner over there holding hands, and Victor Young and his orchestra, but they're not holding hands, I hope. Victor and I aren't exactly strangers. We have made something like 400 records together, phonograph records, you know. Vic, it's great to be with you again, boy.
Thanks, Mitt, and that goes double.
Well, let's go to work. What do you say?
Just give me a chance to get back to the orchestra, and I'm ready.
Okay, Vic. This, ladies and gentlemen, is from my new picture, Palm Springs, which is to be released in a few days. I hope you like the picture. And the song, well, it's called I Don't Want to Make History. And maybe it'll tell you how I feel tonight. Let's go. Fame doesn't get you any fun. Struggle for fame if you must. If you're great, you'll raise a statue, or maybe you'll be just a bust. But love makes an humble rumble seat seem as complete as a throne. Though historians may hide you, you've a glory all your own. Columbus took a chance, and I would take a chance as long as there's a moon up above. But I don't want to make history, I just want to make love. Napoleon took a chance, but when I think of France, it's Josephine I'm thinking of. I don't want to make history, I just want to make love. We all can't be heroes, we all can't be great. Right now I'll settle for a love affair and the Dickens with affairs of state. I hear a call to arms, but sentimental arms, my banner is the moon up above. I don't want to make history, I just want to make love. I don't want to make history, I just want to make love. I don't want to make history, I just want to make love. We all can't be heroes, we all can't be smart. So let those other fellas win their wars, I'll be satisfied to win your heart. I hear a call to arms, but sentimental arms, my banner is the moon up above me. I don't want to make history, I just want to make love. I just want to make love. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You sure are nice to me. May I present now Miss Mary Ellis. Miss Ellis is undoubtedly one of the most versatile young ladies in Hollywood's picture colony, and she has won tremendous critical acclaim on Broadway and in London. She's been an outstanding success in musical comedy, light opera, grand opera, drama, and Shakespearean tragedy. You've seen her on the screen in All the King's Horses and Paris in the Spring. And tonight she's going to sing a number she does in her forthcoming Walter Wanger Paramount picture, Fatal Lady. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Mary Ellis. Doesn't Miss Ellis look beautiful?
Thank you, Smith. That's awfully nice.
Well, it was only half what I wanted to say, but I figured if I said all I had in mind, nobody'd believe me. Won't you tell us about your song?
It's called Je vous adore, which is about the same in any language, I think. It comes at the climax of a very thrilling and novel situation in the picture. I can't begin to describe it to you. But I can say, and I want to say, that Je vous adore was written by Victor Young, and it is one of the best songs I've ever heard, and I know you'll agree with me.
It's April in Paris, the very atmosphere is like a breath of romance. My heart yearns for love words I never seem to hear, or just for one tender glance. My
Again, Bob. We're happy to present now Jack Stanton and Peggy Gardner, two young people who have stayed on in Shell's Chateau by popular demand, no matter who the host was. I want you to meet them personally, Jack Stanton and Peggy Gardner.
Thanks, Mr. Balloon.
Oh, don't thank me. I want you to know I'm tickled to death you're staying on with us.
Oh, Shell Chateau are just like home to us. Isn't that so, Jack?
You bet it is, Peggy. I think we ought to get everyone here to give him a big hand.
every one of us hired hands, that's what you say in Texas, want you to know we're glad to have you here.
Oh, thanks, kids. But let's get on with the show. Jack and Peggy will sing Would You?
I've been reading such romantic stories, tales of love that set the heart aflame, pages that entrance with a new romance, but each plot is really quite the same.
He holds her in his arms.
Would you?
He tells her of her charms.
Would you? They met as you and I, and they were only friends. But before the story ends,
He'll kiss her with a sigh.
would you? If the girl were I, would you? And would you dare to say, let's do the same as they? Would you?
He holds her in his arms. Would you? He tells her of her charms. Would you?
They met as you and I, and they were only friends. But before the story ends,
He'll kiss her with a sigh. Would you? If the boy were I, would you? And would you dare to say, let's do the same as they? I would you? The next act on tonight's show is one anybody'd be proud to present. One of the movie's most popular comedians, Buster Keaton. There's mighty few people in the picture business who have given me more laughs than he has. I got a kick just the other night out of seeing him in one of his best comedies, and one of the best comedies the movies have ever produced. It was co-authored by Buster Keaton, and it stars him. It's called The Grand Slam Opera. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, in the character of the beloved woebegone sap we have all enjoyed so much, Buster Keaton.
Thank you. To begin with, I want to start by saying that I don't know what to say. But I want you to know whatever I don't say is from the bottom of my heart. See, before I went in pictures, I used to be in vaudeville, and in vaudeville it was different. You could only play one city at a time. But in radio, you can flop all over the country the same night. Now, to prove it, I'm going to recite. I'm going to recite The Heck of the Hesperus. You know, the Wreck of the Hesperus.
Hey, Mr. Keaton.
My impression of this poem
Mr. Keaton.
is
Say,
that
I'm sorry to interrupt
got-
you, Mr. Keaton, but I've been trying for a month to locate you, and when I found out you'd be here tonight, I thought
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm trying to recite, just as I interrupted your...
Well, now, that's fine. You can recite some other time. Now, what I'm here about is this. I'm selling insurance.
Well, you're lucky. Most of the boys don't sell any.
You know, this is an accident policy.
It'll be an accident if you sell me one. Ladies and gentlemen, The Wreck of the Hesperus.
The wreck of the Hesperus, huh? Say, I'm glad you brought that up. Have you any idea how many people were injured in that wreck?
I don't know anything about that wreck. I'm only repeating what Henry Wadsworth Longfellow said.
Now, what did Mr. Longfellow say?
Oh, he said, it was the schooner Heifers that sailed the wintry sea, and the skipper had taken his little daughter to bear him company.
Now, that's my point exactly. Nobody should take a sea voyage unless they have plenty of accident insurance. Now, I have several forms here, a health form, a disability form, a loss of life form, a sickness form.
And what you need is chloroform. The skipper, he stood beside the helm. His pipe was in his mouth, and he watched.
How old were you on your last birthday?
I don't know. I haven't had my last birthday yet. And he watched how the veering flaw did blow.
Now, to give you an illustration about insurance, suppose I were to die tomorrow.
Well, that wouldn't help me any tonight. I pray you put into yonder port, for I feel a hurricane.
Mr. Keaton, have you recently been exposed to any contagion?
Not until you showed up. Lashed to the helm, all stiff and stark, with his face turned to the sky.
Now, as to your physical condition, how's your hearing?
Not so good. I can still hear you. She sputtered and paused like a frightened... She was Where am I?
Why, have you ever had any serious accident?
I don't know. I was on crutches once for 6 months. Like a sheltered ghost, the vessel swept toward the reef of Norman's Woe.
On crutches for 6 months? I say, couldn't you get along without your crutches?
Well, the doctor said I could, but the lawyer said I couldn't. And ever the pitful gust between. A sound came from the land.
Oh, anybody in a dangerous occupation like yours should have accident insurance.
My brother works in a mine, and he hasn't got any accident insurance.
Working in a mine, isn't that dangerous?
It used to be until he borrowed $5 from the foreman. Now the foreman won't let my brother do any dangerous work anymore. The breakers were right beneath her bows. She drifted a dreary wreck.
Now as to your personal habits. Do you drink?
No. The whooping billows.
Do you smoke?
No.
Do you frequent nightclubs or cocktail lounges?
No. She struck with us soft and fleecy waves, looked soft as carded wool, and I don't swear either.
My goodness, haven't you any vices at all?
Sometimes I chew a little gum. But the cruel rocks, they gored her sides like the horns of an angry bull.
Well, Mr. Keaton, I'm glad that you've decided to take the bull by the horns and sign this application.
Listen, mister, I don't want any insurance, and if I did want insurance, I couldn't get any insurance. And the rattling sprouts were sheeted in ice.
Have you been refused insurance before?
Yeah, the doctor turned me down. Went out of the night with a pack on his back.
Hey, what happened that you were turned down?
Well, in the company I tried to get a policy with, it was their custom for the doctor, after he examined a man, to take a chart of a human body and punch a hole in it wherever he found anything wrong.
The doctor took a chart of the human body and punched a hole in it wherever he found anything wrong with you?
And that's why I didn't get the insurance.
But why did the doctor turn you down?
Because he took the chart home and put it on his player piano.
Yeah?
And it played I'm Headed for the Last Roundup.
Thanks, Buster. Thank you, Buster. Now, with the assistance of Max Terr and his Hollywood Male Chorus and Victor Young, I'd like to try to bring you a scene from my picture, Palm Springs. Let me ride on the trail in the hills of old Wyoming. In the picture, there's a beautiful shot of 15 cowboys riding down from Wyoming to Palm Springs. They're all pretty happy about going to that swell resort on the desert, but their hearts are still in the hills of old Wyoming, where they came from. Let me ride on the trail in the hills of old Wyoming, where the coyotes wail in the gloaming, for it's there that my heart at home. In the night, let me rest with the blue sky for my ceiling, till the wind's lullaby comes stealing from the hills where my heart's at home. Wait for the phone every morning. Wait when it's dawning. Wait, ready to be done. Let me live on the range where a man has room and to dream of his love in the gloaming, in the hills of old Wyoming, in the hills of old Wyoming. Wake with a song every morning, wake with the sun, wake at dawning, saddle and cattle and plenty to be done. Let me live on the range, in the hills of old Wyoming, and to dream of my love in the gloaming, in the hills of old Wyoming, in the hills of old.
That's mighty white of you. Now, here's Bob Sherwood speaking for the Shell outfit, as we say in Texas.
Most of you people drove to Shell Chateau tonight, and I'd like to ask this gentleman to speak for you. Now then, sir, suppose you could drive your car only in one gear. For instance, only in low or in second or high.
Yeah, you couldn't do it.
Then you agree your car needs 3 shifts of gear?
Certainly.
Now, in the same way, if the stop-and-go driving is not to waste your money, your gasoline must have 3 kinds of power.
That sounds reasonable.
Yes, for economical stop-and-go driving, it must have power for quick starting, power for speedy accelerating, power for long, steady driving, and must have these 3 kinds of power in just the right amounts. With some gasolines, in starting and warming up your engine just once, you can give it enough gas to carry you a whole mile out on the road. And most days, you start your engine 10 different times. But now you can cut down this terrible waste of gasoline by using Super Shell.
How does Super Shell help matters?
Super Shell is a new type gasoline, the first specially made for stop-and-go driving. The first to give you these 3 kinds of power in perfect balance. Try some. You'll find you don't have to fill up the tank so often when you get Super Shell.
And while you're talking to motors, Bob, here's an item that was in the paper the other day. speed cop stopped a lady who was driving over 50 miles an hour. She was in a hurry to get her sick dog to a hospital. Well, when he looked in the car, all he could say was, "Sorry, lady, but your pooch is dead." Her eyes filled with tears, and the cop just hopped on his motorcycle and hurried away. "Oh, I couldn't give her a ticket," he said. "I got a pup of my own." I just mention this because every motorist should realize that speed cops are human, just like we are. If they have to stop you, the fault isn't theirs, it's yours. They don't get any fun out of being everybody's enemy. This is Smith Ballou, folks, welcoming you to the second half of our show, which is coming to you direct from the Shell Chateau. This is an opening night for me in the Chateau, and on behalf of everybody here tonight, thanks for the good wishes you've wired us. And everybody here tonight is quite a list. Charles Butterworth, Mary Ellis, Buster Keaton and Marjorie Gateson, Willie Hunter, Jack Stanton and Peggy Gardner, and Victor Young. Victor, I don't have to tell anybody, is one of the swellest guys in the music business. And it's no new business to me either. You know, I used to have a band of my own, but I'm not giving away any secrets when I say it couldn't even come close to being as good as Victor Young's orchestra. Ladies and gentlemen, it makes me very happy to present Victor Young and his orchestra, playing a medley of popular dance tunes, all of them written by Victor Young. Go ahead and dance if you want to. know there are a lot of you people here in Shell Chateau tonight who play golf. And I'll bet a lot of you aren't satisfied with your scores. Well, here's a chance to improve your game. We have with us tonight Willie Hunter, one of the best authorities on golf. Willie has devoted practically his entire life to the game and has walked away with the honors in many of the leading golf tournaments all over the country. And he's ready now to tell you just how to cut down on those losing strokes. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm mighty happy to present to you a man who really knows his golf, Willie Hunter.
Thanks, Smith. I'm certainly happy to be here tonight with you.
And we're happy to have you here with us, too. I understand you've been playing golf for 42 years. That's a long time. How'd you happen to start?
My father's a golf pro, and we practically lived on the first tee at the Royal Cinque Ports Golf Club in Deal, England. You might say I was born with a golf club in my hand.
Well, Willie, I guess you know that tennis is my game. Do you ever play tennis?
I played tennis when I was a youngster, but I gave it up because I thought it wasn't good for my golf.
How's that?
Well, tennis is either a left or a right-hand game. One of your arms is likely to become more developed than the other, and you would be unbalanced for golf, which is a two-handed game.
Well, I never thought of that, but it sounds very logical. Maybe we'd better stick to your game. When did you start tournament play?
Well, my first big tournament was the British Amateur in 1921 at Hoylake. 2 months later, I crossed over to this country and played in the U.S. Championship at St. Louis and defeated Bobby Jones.
Bobby Jones? I'll bet that is a tough game.
It was.
Well, now, these were all amateur tournaments, weren't they? When did you turn pro?
In 1925. After that, I won the Southern California Open Championship 4 times, 3 successive years, and again in 1934.
Well, Willie, you have a reputation for uniformity of play, I'm told. How do you manage to keep your game so regular?
Well, Smith, to begin with, I have retained very little that is natural in my golf. I have built everything up very methodically to eliminate chance of error. I can tell you why and how I make every shot.
Isn't there some one characteristic in your game in which you find yourself to be particularly proficient?
Well, I'm an average driver, but I believe my medium iron play is the best part of my game. I usually get on the green when I'm within striking distance with the irons.
I'm sure a lot of these people in Shell Chateau tonight would like to hear you tell them just how they can improve their game.
Well, Smith, the average golfer's main fault is tenseness. A player is inclined to stiffen up too much. He doesn't pivot, and he takes his club head completely out of the correct path. This results in slicing, probably the most common of all faults. Topping is the second most common. Another point that's overemphasized is keeping your eye on the ball.
Why, I thought that was the most important thing.
Not exactly, because if the head moves, keeping your eye on the ball is useless. Harry Varden used to hit a ball blindfolded. If a player keeps his eye on the ball and moves his head, and he immediately changes the path of his club head. Keep your head in one spot. That is the most important thing.
Is that what you teach?
Yes. But the greatest trouble in teaching, though, is to make people relax.
By the way, Willie, did you ever make a hole-in-one?
Yes, I've made 2 holes in one. The first time was in 1930 at the Riviera Country Club on Christmas Day. The other was at Sunset Club in 1932.
Willie, I'd like to know just what shot stays in your mind as the most difficult.
The most difficult shot I ever made, at least, the one that is outstanding in my memory, was at the Wilshire Country Club in the Los Angeles Open in 1933. It was at the 18th hole, and I had to make 4 to tie for second place. I was in a very bad spot on the second. There was a tree between me and the pin, and a very narrow portion of the green to shoot to. I played a perfect shot into the branches on purpose to drop the ball. It dropped about 12 inches from the pin, and I holed it in 4. It was a par 4 hole.
Well, if I want to take up golf seriously, you're my pro.
You ought to play, Smith. Golf is a sport you can play all your life. Kids, old men, everyone play it. After a certain age, tennis becomes too strenuous, but you never become too old to play golf.
Well, thanks for coming up, Willie. And I guess maybe I'd better get a set of clubs and start getting in shape for old age. Here's wishing you lots of luck and some more holes in one.
Thanks, Smith, and here's wishing you all the luck in the world in the Chateau.
Thank you. Willie Hunter will be in the lounge after the show. If any of you folks here want to ask him some more questions, you may do so. Now, Max Terr and his Hollywood chorus, Victor Young, and I would like to have you hear one of the songs I like to sing most, If I Should Lose You. If I should lose you, the stars would fall from the sky. If I should lose you, the leaves would wither and die. The birds in Maytime would sing a mournful refrain, and I would wander around, hating the sound of rain. Why should we lose forever this sacred thing that heaven gave us, this sacred trust? Why rob my world of all its beauty? Why change a dream to dust? My heart is yours, but ask your own if you should leave me. Leave you, never, dear. If I should lose you, the stars would fall from the sky. If I should lose you, the leaves would wither and die. The birds in Maytime would sing a mournful refrain, and I would wander around, hating the sound of rain. With you beside me, the rose would bloom in the snow. With you beside me, no winds of winter would blow. I gave you my love, and I was living, but living would seem in vain if I lost you. I take great pleasure in presenting now one of the most popular character actors in Hollywood, Charles Butterworth, with Miss Marjorie Gateson, famous star of Broadway and motion pictures. The play they're doing is Ralph E. Reynolds' Uneasy Lies the Head, a satirical one-act play concerning the home life of a small-town king in one of the whistle-stop kingdoms that once dotted the world. The king, as portrayed by Charles Butterworth, finds the affairs of state too heavy for his featherweight mind. Mr. Butterworth and Miss Gateson. Our scene is the great hall of the royal palace. Their royal majesties, the king, Mr. Butterworth, and the queen, Miss Gateson, are seated side by side on their throne. We first hear from His Majesty the King as the curtain rises.
Oh.
Alfred, are you going to sit there all day doing nothing but yawn in my face?
But, my dear, after all, it's my birthday. You know, a king has a right to yawn on his birthday.
Oh, absurd.
Besides, that lunch made me sleepy. My dear, I'm terribly tired of having boiled mutton every single Wednesday.
That's no reason for yawning. You should be thinking of the affairs of state.
I was, but really it's terribly hard when I never know what's going on. Why don't you let me see the newspapers?
Because you never read anything but the sports pages. If you began to show some slight sense of duty as a king, if you ever exhibited the faintest realization of your opportunities...
What opportunities? You won't even let me drink lemon sodas. You know how much I love lemon sodas.
You might at least bring your stamp collection up to date.
I'll do it this afternoon.
You'll do nothing of the sort. This afternoon you've got to lay a cornerstone.
Oh, another cornerstone? Lay a cornerstone on my birthday? Don't you think this is carrying things too far? You know, it's very fatiguing hoisting those beastly things, and you get your hands all covered with mortar. Why, the last time my feet got stuck in the cement. The Prime Minister had to cut me loose with a coal chisel.
Never mind. Where's your barber? Isn't it time he was here?
Yes, it is. Good old Jolkins. He's going to give me a lemon oil shampoo today. I hope he doesn't forget the ice and soda this time.
Ice and soda?
Oh, yeah, ice and soda, yeah. Jolkins tells me it's just what my scalp needs. There's not enough acid in my hair follicles. It's a very serious condition, hypoacidosis of the hair. It can lead to almost anything.
Hypoacid? What?
Exactly. Jolkins' very expression. I remember it distinctly.
You never remember anything distinctly. You're in a perpetual mental fog. You're not interested in anything. You have no ambition.
Well, you killed my only real ambition, my dear. You know, to drive a taxi.
A taxi driver. Disgusting.
Well, I'll have you know that the position of a taxi driver is an honorable one. Why, 90% of all taxi drivers are family men, good citizens, regular voters, and besides, they meet such interesting people.
That will do, Alfred. It might be a good thing for your kingdom if you were a taxi driver. Here's Jawkins.
Good afternoon, Your Majesty.
Good afternoon, Jawkins.
Hello, Jawkins. You got plenty of that lemon oil, I hope.
Oh, yes, Your Majesty.
Oh, that's good. You know, sitting here all day sitting on the throne, you get a sort of a distinct feeling of acidosis, Jawkins.
Of the hair follicles, Your Highness?
Well, sort of all over me, inside me, too.
Jawkins, you are not to give His Majesty any lemon oil.
No, Your Majesty.
But, my dear, a little lemon oil on my birthday.
No lemon oil. Remember, you must be off to the fish vendor's nursing home to lay that cornerstone.
Oh, dear, dear.
Well, I'll leave you now. But, Jawkins, I hope you will avoid giving His Majesty that washed-out look you've been achieving lately. I'll return shortly.
Now, just lie back, Your Majesty. There. Getting a little thin on top, sir.
Oh, I dare say, Jawkins, I dare say. But never mind that professional chit-chat. Just shave me. And give me the news.
Right-ho, sir. I was just waiting to be sure Her Majesty had gone, sir.
Oh, of course. Well, she's gone now, hasn't she?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Oh, who won the 5th race yesterday?
Ups-a-daisy, paid 20 to 1, sir.
20 to 1? Why, Jawkins, that makes me the winner of £20,000.
Did you have Ups-a-daisy, Your Majesty?
Well, Jawkins, I didn't really make the bet exactly, but I said to myself the day before yesterday, I said, by Georgie, if I had £1,000, I'd put it all on, what was the name of the horse?
Ups-a-daisy, Your Majesty.
Ups-a-daisy. Well, the Queen wouldn't give me the money. Is there any other news, Jawkins?
A man in the provinces locked his wife in the bathroom for 2 days.
In the bathroom? His wife?
Yes, Your Majesty. It seems he wanted to get away for a couple of days.
Extraordinary. You know, I wanted to get away for a couple of days once, so I locked myself in the bathroom. Oh, Jawkins, it was dreadful. Say, did the paper say anything about the circumstances that had driven the poor fellow, to do such a thing?
Oh, the usual thing, sir, in cases of the kind. It appears she ordered him about too much. Wouldn't let him go out in the evenings.
Always serve boiled mutton every Wednesday?
Why, yes. How did you know that, sir?
Well, I know how those things are, Jawkins. I have my finger on the public pulse. Is there any other news?
There is a story of a landlady in a boarding house who shot one of her tenants.
Why, Jawkins, did he get fresh?
I dare say, sir. The story has it that this boarder was a very disagreeable fellow.
Ah, Jawkins, these ugly rumors.
Oh, sir.
Good one, eh, Jawkins?
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh, dear. Probably she just gave him boiled mutton every Wednesday. What else is going on?
Nothing else of any real importance, Your Majesty. Of course, there's a taxicab strike going on.
A taxicab strike? Jawkins, who's driving the cabs?
The nobility, sir. All the dukes and earls have turned out.
What did you say?
Well, first the Earl of Bilgewater volunteered, and then the Duke of Flannel. And now the streets are full of taxis with the nobility driving them.
Jorkins, I've got to get out of here at once and go and drive one of those cabs.
But, Your Majesty,
Never mind, Jorkins. Just let me get out of this chair at once.
But think, sir, what will the Queen say?
Oh, the Queen. I'll take care of her. I'm afraid you're right, Jorkins. She'll never permit it. My one opportunity, the chance of a lifetime to drive a taxi. Do you realize how many pretty girls a cab driver picks up?
Oh, it means a great deal to you, sir.
Oh, it's been my lifelong ambition.
Then if I might make a suggestion, sir.
Oh, by all means.
Perhaps you could tell the Queen that you were going out to lay the cornerstone.
Yes, Jorkins.
And then skip off to the square and get yourself a cab, sir.
Skip off to... Why, Jorkins, say, you're a genius. I hope I know how to skip, though. Say, Jorkins, you'll have a place in my cabin.
Oh, thank you, sir. Shh. Your Majesty, here comes the Queen, sir.
Oh, yes.
And now a little powder, Your Majesty. And that's about all, sir?
Right, Jorkins. A little of that carnation. That's fine. I'll see you tomorrow, Jorkins.
Oh, yes, Your Majesty.
Are you finished, Alfred?
Yes, my love.
Goodbye, Your Majesties.
Goodbye, Jorkins. Well, my love, I'm all ready for the cornerstone laying. All ready. I expect I'd better get started.
Why, Alfred, you appear to have had quite a change of heart.
Well, yes, I mean, no, my love. I simply have a chance to reflect, and after all, it's my duty. A cornerstone, after all, is a cornerstone, and it's no good unless it's laid.
Well, you needn't think about it any longer. The cornerstone laying has been cancelled on account of the taxi strike.
Well, that's ridiculous. I'll lay the cornerstone myself, alone. There's not a strike of cornerstone layers, is there?
No, dear. You can spend the afternoon with your stamp collection as you had planned. I've got a lovely surprise for you.
I don't want a surprise. I want to lay a cornerstone.
Look, darling. Look, 2 beautiful new Puerto Rico airmail stamps, purple and orange. Now, dear, stick them in your album.
Oh, you stick them. I won't stick them. I'm going out to lay a cornerstone.
Oh, you can't, Alfred. Now, dear, here are your stamps, and so you'll have privacy. I've locked all the doors to this room.
You have all the doors? And nobody can get in here unless you unlock them?
In or out, Alfred?
Did you lock the bathroom door, my dear?
Oh, no, of course not. But the key's in it if you want to lock it.
Oh, well, that's all I want to know. Now, just come with me. There's something in the bathroom I think you ought to see.
Alfred, what are you doing?
Oh, don't worry, my little dear. You just go ahead.
Alfred, stop pushing me.
Oh, just give me those keys. There. This will be the last push.
Alfred?
Oh!
Alfred, let me out of here. Let me out. Alfred.
Well, that's that. I may enjoy my birthday after all. Oh, Jolson!
You called, Your Highness?
Yes, get me my taxi driver's uniform. I'm going to drive a cab.
But what about the Queen, sir?
She's at present engaged in her official capacity as First Lady of the Bath.
Really?
Thank you, Charles Butterworth. And thank you, Miss Gateson. And now, Victor Young and his orchestra will play a song of Johnny Mercer's, Welcome, Stranger. you like this opening show tonight, and you'll come back to Shell Chateau next week, all of you. We have already spoken to Edward G. Robinson, and he's going to do a scene from the first tough guy play he ever appeared in, The Racket. And since I missed seeing the show, I personally am looking forward to a great treat next Saturday night. Other stars who are going to be on the bill, including the charming Miss Alice Faye, whom you have seen in numbers of pictures, Victor Moore, who is going to launch his campaign for re-election as Vice President Alexander Throttlebottom, Jack Stanton and Peggy Gardner, Victor Young and his orchestra, and a lot more acts that you'll want to hear. We'll be tickled to death to have you next Saturday night, too. And if you like the show, don't bother to write. Just fill up your tank with Super Shell, and the Shell service stations from coast to coast and back again will know you like the show. This is Smith Ballou wishing you all the best and bidding you a very good evening.
Fall from the sky. If I should lose you, the leaves would wither and die. The birds in Maytime would sing a mournful refrain, and I would wander around hating the sound of rain. With you beside me, the rose would bloom in the snow. With you beside me, no winds of winter would blow. I gave you my love, and I was living a dream, but living would seem in vain if I lost you. I gave you my love, and I was